African American community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything.
I came across this video on my For You, and I thought to share where Mexican Hispanic people are calling upon their own, urging them to just relax and keep begging people that looks like me to support them, be out for them, and all of that. And I was like, so these guys actually knew that people that looks like me are just the brain behind the success story of every immigrant. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip, as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
The only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not going to get deported anywhere, and you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And I clap for the African American community that has not come out, because it is not. I do. We didn't do shit for them. I get it. But I don't. Me and you support, but in masses, we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. I'm not gonna talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans. Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your ass as Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're gonna kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black ass.
Now listen, I can't speak for all black Americans. I can only speak for myself. I'm not looking for anybody from the Hispanic or Latino community to kiss my ass. What I'm looking for is mutual fucking respect. If I respect you, and if I'm not racist or putting you down, I expect the same in return. If you are looking for me to fight with you, I expect for you to fight with me. I expect for my intelligence and my education to be respected. I expect my lived experience to be respected. I expect for my history and for what my people and my ancestors have gone through and for what they are going through to be respected. I expect for the people who know better to educate the ones in your community that don't. I expect for you to call out the racism within your own community. And if you can't do any of that, don't look for me to be there for you. That's it. That's all.
This message is for all the black people out there and the content creators that are black. If you're not black, feel free to scroll through, because this message is like truly for them. From a Latino that represents the Latino community pretty heavily. I'm sorry, because I know that you're getting harassed right now, that, oh, you need to support us, you need to blah, blah, blah. You don't owe us shit. You don't owe us anything. You guys voted accordingly in the last election, and we as Latinos did not. We fucked up royally, especially my community of Puerto Ricans and the Cubans. We voted at a higher rate than any other fucking minority. Over 60%. And you guys voted over 60%. No, fuck, more. Like 90% for Kamala Harris. We fucked up. So now we can't cry about it when you guys defended us in the polls and we didn't even defend ourselves. So now there's a lesson to be learned. But again, thank you for your service. You don't owe us shit, black people. Que tengan buen día.
The African American.
Bravo, bravo. That's what they look at black people as. The help. Not as allyship, just disposable help. Someone that they could put in front of them as a shield. And that's why a lot of these white Cubans left Cuba. It's not necessarily because of politics or ideology. It's because of racial equality. Before the Cuban Revolution, they used to discriminate against black Cubans. It was legal. Black Cubans didn't have access to healthcare or education, and they lived in poorer conditions where they served the white Cubans. After the Cuban Revolution, all that changed. They start promoting racial equality. Black Cubans start having access to healthcare, access to education. And a lot of white Cubans, that made them feel uncomfortable. They were used to the old Cuba, where they had an upper advantage on the black Cubans. They're not going to bring this information up freely. That's why when she says save us, servitude, you're nothing but the help, disposable help. Make my white Cuban life a little bit easier and comfortable since our white savior, Trump, is deporting us.
Latinos in the United States have not earned the support of black people for us to be demanding, oh yeah, why aren't they coming out to protest with us? Why aren't they engaging in activism with us? Because we haven't earned it at all, in the slightest. Or did you guys forget that 46% of all eligible Latino voters voted for Donald Trump in the 2024 presidential election? Or how about the fact that racism, anti-blackness, colorism, all of these things are still very much pervasive in our communities? Bro, Latinos haven't even reconciled with the fact that they can't use the N-word unless they're also black themselves, because Afro-Latinos exist. Oh, and if we're talking about Miami, oof, you'll see the whitest MAGA Latinos be like, bro, but I grew up in the hood. I grew up around black people. In Overtown or in Liberty City, I could say it, bro. No one's gonna stop me from saying it. It's my right. I'm not racist. I have a black friend. We haven't even gotten over that. And we want black people to go to protest with us, to engage in activism with us, putting their lives, their freedom, their bodies on the line? No. I completely understand any black person that wants to just disengage, disregard us. I get it, guys. I really, really do. And we, as Latinos, as a collective, should not be harboring resentment against black people, criticizing them, getting angry at them, questioning them. No. Because we've earned this. They are completely justified in feeling the way they feel and doing what they're doing. Now, I would like to give a message to the black folks watching this video. You are completely justified in your feelings and in doing what you're doing, and I respect it. But please remember that black folks are also being affected by this persecution of undocumented migrants. And I feel like that's not talked about enough either. Here, Miami, Florida is the best example. Haitians, Jamaicans, Bahamians, Afro-Cubans, Afro-Hondurans, Garifunas, black people from all over Latin America and all over the world, Africans, just so many black people that are also undocumented that are really being affected by the persecution of this administration. And of course, much like any other entity in space, black folks in immigration detention centers, in the immigration system, are treated worse than their white, Latino, Asian counterparts. So it's really important to acknowledge that and just let you guys know. But yeah, Latinos, we need to tighten up. If you guys want the support of the black community, then earn it. Demonstrate that we can solve these issues of racism in our own communities, and please stop saying the N-word. If you're not black, don't say the N-word. It's really simple, actually.
People are tired of being a bank where everyone keeps making withdrawals and no one ever makes a deposit. And I want you to think about that. If that was your setup, would you still want to give? Especially for those of us in the Hispanic community, because it's about patterns that we've inherited and the harm that we've ignored. Me, myself, I'm Puerto Rican. I've seen how anti-blackness and colorism still show up in our homes, in our language, in our media, in our families. In many families, darker skin is treated like a disadvantage. When solidarity is needed, hesitation shows what's been internalized, and too many of us were raised to believe that aligning with blackness meant losing something: safety, opportunity, acceptance. And we were taught the proximity to whiteness would protect us, that staying quiet was safer. So if we don't unlearn that, we end up repeating the same harm we say we stand against. So disengagement is not okay. What's happening to immigrant communities right now is devastating. I'm not taking away from that, and it does deserve compassion and support. But a good portion of that fear didn't come from distant forces, and it came from within our own communities. I've spoken out because I've watched people I know support systems that were never created for us to begin with. Systems that weren't designed to protect us, only to use us when it's convenient. So while I've raised my voice, I also know too many that have stayed silent, or worse, they chose power. We don't get to ask for empathy if we're unwilling to confront the harm our silence helped protect. And contrary to popular opinion, holding each other accountable isn't betrayal. It's how we begin to heal. So to the black women and men that are saying we've poured into everybody and got nothing back, you're not wrong. You've carried movements, you've carried communities, you've carried generations without rest. without complaint, without question. And we cannot undo the silence that already has happened, but we can take responsibility for what happens next. I think people are not realizing we have way more similarities than differences, and we have more power together than we do apart. So look to your Black brother or sister, look at them and say thank you, and I see you. It's simple as that. Strike up a conversation, get to understand, because that's all they're asking for.
You're one of the folks that is planning to or already made a video telling Black Americans why aren't they supporting at the protest right now. Stop it. Do better. Black Americans don't owe anybody nothing. Folks are pushing this narrative because they showed up during the BLM movement and now Black Americans need to step up for us. That's not how it works. We didn't show up to support for the sake of them getting us back in the future. We support causes like that because it's the right thing to do. Because humanity comes first. ¿Me entiendes? I even saw some folks leave comments like, Africans ran to Mexico to escape slavery in the US. What are you saying? The folks in Mexico that embraced the protected, those that were seeking safety, did it because it was the right thing to do. For you to act like people owe us something is crazy. Let me add a few more things. There are hella Black Americans supporting the protests right now. The right side of history. And they're doing it because it's the right thing to do. Because humanity comes first. And also, just like the Latino community, they are not a monolith. Just like we have our colonizer pets, supported trompas, that are celebrating deportations, there are folks like that in every community as well. But they do not represent the entire community. But honestly, instead of pushing your energy asking people, why are they not here? Why are they not supporting us? Put that energy towards your conservative tío, tu primo cara de pato that voted for this, and hella energy in pushing politicians. Call them, email them, call them out on social media to advocate to do the right thing for humanity, to be on the right side of history. This is a big topic. I could talk so much more about this, but I'm going to stop right here. Familia, what did I miss? And if you agree with what I said, don't forget to follow, send this to someone that needs to hear it, and support me on YT if you don't already. Adios.
You know what's the most heartbreaking thing about this entire thing? Is that some of us citizens that are Latinos are literally not supporting our people because our family was able to be lucky enough to become a citizen. That is so heartbreaking. That is not what Mexicans are known for. We're known to be always just helping one another. That is what we're known for. And some of the Latino citizens want to really be white. They don't even want to be Hispanic. They won't do anything because it's not affecting them. You know, the most ironic thing is that majority of these Trumpies are actually Christian, and they're not real Christians because real Christians would never act like that. Think about it. Would Jesus act like this right now? Would he? Ask yourself that. Really think about it. Would you deport Jesus if he didn't have his papers? Oh, would you attack him, tackle him down to the floor just because he had a little bit of a darker complexion, even though he was a citizen? He just matched the darker complexion. Interesting, so interesting. We learn history to not repeat it. Why did Donald Trump not put his hand on the Bible? Isn't that something from an evil person? Why did he make his own Bible? That's ignorant. Oh my gosh, this infuriates me.
Hey, fellow Latinos, I'm not saying it's okay or right that Black people are like, no, let them fend for themselves. I mean, honestly, it is okay, but I'm not saying like, yes, let's do that because unity is what helps us. But also, like, I know it's not supposed to be transactional. I just need you guys to start thinking because you guys are like, all gung-ho, active out there, unified together in the streets now. But where were you when the George Floyd protests were? I personally was out there with my friends who were Asian, Pacific Islander, Mexican, and Puerto Rican. And then I'm Mexican myself and a white husband. We were out there, okay? And I've gotten comments from people in my community, people in my family who have been like, well, you think you're Black. What about me? What about my content? What about the way I speak, the way I act? What about you makes you think that I think I'm Black? Oh, because I advocate for Black people too, as much as I advocate for my people? It shouldn't be transactional. You shouldn't have to have a dog in the fight to care. You should just have basic empathy. You should just care about people. You see a sad story, oh, you cry. You want to help out however you can. You guys see that all the time. You see a puppy in danger, oh, let's rescue all the puppies. Why is it so hard to do with humans? Black people don't owe us anything. But even one of the major interviews going around about the guy whose girlfriend was taken because they were just recording, in that there's a black man who's in the background and he's like, si se puede. He's out there. He has nothing to gain from this. So think about that. Don't go back to the anti-blackness. Learn, stop saying the N-word. Do that. Stop saying the N-word and humble yourself. If black people tell you something's offensive, change it. Change it and don't become defensive.
And Hispanic families that are rioting in Los Angeles. Thank you. Thank you for confirming every stereotype, every stigma, every rumor about Mexicans. In just 4 days, you were successful in turning the entire American population against us. Thank you for making all of us unsafe now. Thank you for putting an even bigger target on Mexicans and Hispanics across the board. Thank you for advocating for peace with the flag from a country that you won't live in, burning the flag of the country you want to live in. Thank you for the destruction of property that taxpayers pay for. Thank you for doing everything in the illegal criminal book that will get you locked up. No, and I truly mean it. Thank you, because everything is so much better now. Thank you, because I've never felt so safe in my life. I've never felt so good about being a Mexican or a Hispanic. I have never felt better about speaking in Spanish in public. I have never felt prouder than where my parents came from and what they instilled in us. When people are looking at all of these images of you guys assaulting officers and throwing bricks at cars and looting and burning up the American flags, like that is exactly what we've wanted. You are the exact people that do not belong in this country. You may be from Mexico, but if you live in this nation, your sovereignty, your support, your allegiance is to this country. How dare you wave a flag that has done nothing for you? How dare you raise a flag of a place you are not willing to live in? How dare you burn the flag of a people that you want to accept you? How dare you assault the officers that their entire employment is to protect you? How dare you put every Mexican, every Salvadorian, every Ecuadorian, every Colombian, every Cuban, everyone across the board in harm's way because of your stupid actions? Maybe behind bars or on the other side of a fence is where you actually need to be. Because all this nonsense that you're doing in this free nation of America, try doing that in the place of the flag that you're waving. Try going to Jalisco and do the nonsense that you're doing here. See if the cartels don't take you to the alley. No, please, go to Colombia. Do the exact same thing and see how the Colombian government's gonna treat you. Go to Ecuador, where people are running away because they don't feel safe there. Go there and do what you're doing here. See how they will willfully just accept you. We have become entitled children that act like children, talk like children, that do everything that resembles a lower class. And that is not what I stand for. That is not the Mexican heritage that I come from. Let me know what you think.
We are those Hispanic, Mexican people that often say, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. I'm not black, I'm Hispanios. I'm not black. And all of that. The thing is that these guys actually know the importance of people that looks like me. They know that this is the reason why we are here. If not for the cause of their civil rights movement and all of that, we are not even going to be here. But the problem is that these guys have refused to acknowledge that fact. People that looks like me have done things over and over and over again, not only for Hispanic people, but Asian, like Lovelace. I actually thought that during the course of affirmative action, that most of the minority group, we actually, have a well, like, they, I think they were supposed to come back to their senses after the course of the affirmative action. Affirmative action was supposed to be an eye opener to most of the majority or most of the minority groups. Sorry, not majority, most of the minority groups. After affirmative action, with whatsoever that was happening in Palestine, should also be a second eye opener to most of these POC people. But no, they still refuse and still believe that they have everything. They are the blueprint. Like they are the, oh my god. During the course of affirmative action, black people fought tooth and nail for them not to dismantle affirmative action. Asian people were like, oh god, no, we have to dismantle it because it's actually it favors black people. Without these guys having a realization that affirmative action actually favors white women, more specifically. Why is it that majority of these POC people find it they find it very difficult to accept the fact that people that looks like me are oppressed. Like they see it as a lie. They see it as a made up story. Even when you're telling them that the society, the system is favoring these people and not favoring the other people, they don't want to see that. There's something up. There's something happening in affirmative action. I thought that was going to be an eye opener to so many POC people. This is how they did all, ups and down, back and forth, and affirmative action was dismantled. Even when black people fought, you know, for them not to do that, trying to tell people, other minority groups, that this never favors us. This actually favors these people. So why do you want to, remove it? This is like, and the truth of this whole thing is the fact that some people actually want to dismantle affirmative action because it gives room for minority group or POC group to also get admitted into the Ivy schools without being discriminatory. Like it's just like, you know, but these guys refuse to listen. Before you know it, it was dismantled. And that was when they realized that, oh, these guys were actually telling the truth. They were telling the truth, like, seriously? And now here comes Palestinian people and what was happening over there. Black people was all supported. Like they were all supporting. They have always been there for people. And at the end of the day, what happens? They tell you that you are not welcome into my community if you're going to vote for Kamala Harris. And now black people decided that okay, we're gonna do as you say. Now they're still beating around the bush, still angry that black people are not getting themselves involved anymore. And now Hispanic people during the campaign, people that looks like me try to tell you that okay, you shouldn't do this way, do this that way, it's gonna benefit you or not benefit you. You know how it is. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're gonna vote for our votes. And after that now they are calling upon black people to come help them because they not understand. Like these guys will never change. They will never change. Let me just tell you the truth. The truth is that even if people that looks like me decide to come out and help and everything becomes so rosy, and at the end of the day, come next year or maybe 4 years later, these guys will still want to put Orange Man in. They don't learn. They don't learn. Nobody want you to actually come like your vote or something, but it's just that you have to think logically. You have to like take away anti-blackness, take away race and cis, and think like see the reality. Forget about your skin color, forget about if I'm Hispanic or pan color. Just think about your well-being, the reality of life. This is what you need to think about. Allow peace to fill into your heart. Then you see exactly what people that looks like me have been saying and saying for a very long time. Like when I saw this, I was like, "Are you joking? Hello." Anyway, lovely, so just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please don't forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So, lovely, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your goal a huge favor to click on the subscription button. Like, and I will see you, lovely, when I upload the next one.